The Contemptor Dreadnought is cool. It's so cool, in fact, that I even made an animation about it. Check this shit. Okay, I'm very proud of that animation, but with that out of the way, this is a Contemptor Dreadnought that I 3D printed off quite some time ago. And while I think that it is relatively well painted, I think that I could repaint the plasma gun to be much better, which is what I will do today. To give the impression that this is not the first time this plasma gun has shot at heretics, I'm going to give it a nice tempered metal look. I will accomplish this by putting some Vallejo steel blue on the tip, using some Citadel Xerius purple on the middle, and using some Vallejo Game Colors gold on the very back, and I will then blend it all together. One of the reasons why I always love dreadnoughts for my army is because of the great prompt it gives you for the world building and the story. Was the Marine inside of the dreadnought part of my army before he got interred, falling valiantly alongside of his brothers? Or maybe he's been a dreadnought for centuries and only knows the rest of my army through the cameras of the dreadnought. Whatever the story may be, it's really fun to think about and can really get you connected to your little toy soldiers. I'll try to think of something for this dreadnought, but if you guys would like to give me a hand, feel free to leave a comment down below.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Well, with the barrel looking nice and burnt, it is time to move on to
The glowy bits!
When I first painted up this plasma gun, I decided to go for green. It is not a color that I often see plasma guns being painted, and I thought that it would be a fun challenge at first, and I think I'm going to stick with it this time. So what I'm doing is I'm starting off with a base coat of white, and then I'm going to hit it with a thin down coat of Vallejo transparent green. My only real regret with this Contemptor Dreadnought is that, I don't know, it's supposed to be a Space Wolves Contemptor Dreadnought, but I don't really know if it's Space Wolvesy enough. They're the kind of chapter to really adorn their walkers and their vehicles and really decorate whatever they can get their hands on. And especially a walker this old, it should be covered in wolf pelts and skulls and trophies and stuff, but I don't know, it just never really crossed my mind when I made that, and I doubt I really had the skill back then, but I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it now, but maybe I'll come back to it later and add some fun details and such. Following all standard plasma gun procedures, I hit it with my green, and then I also hit it with some Flash Gets Yellow thinned down. I will then start creating my gradient, which I hope will lead to some nice, hot-looking coils. Before I continue, I should probably explain my thought process here. Basically, I'm doing the standard procedure for how to make a plasma gun, and that is to basically create a gradient. You put the color that you want your plasma gun to be on top, put a little bit of a complementary color in the middle, and then put white on the bottom, and then just blend the shit out of the two halves. And it can get a little bit more complicated from here, but I normally choose not to, and because this is 3D printed and was a little bit overexposed, the plasma coils aren't super defined, so it's a little bit harder to highlight them, so I'll basically just leave it at this for now. The final step is to do some basic object source lighting. I will accomplish this by loading up my airbrush with transparent green and hitting any place where the light would shine. Wham! There we go. My Contemptor is now ready to smite the enemies of the Emperor in spectacular flashes of green plasma. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe.